Persimmon Ridge was originally started by Elmore and Lauren Just. It was really their vision and dream to establish a championship caliber golf course that the everyday golfer could play, and they really almost gave up on their dream. They were having a hard time finding some property, but fortunately, like a lot of things in life, you're thinking about giving up, and then something drops in your lap. So when the realtor called and had this acreage out here in Shelby County, they came out here and checked it out and absolutely fell in love with it. And so they realized pretty early on that designing a golf course was not something that they were going to be able to do themselves. So they reached out and connected with Arthur Hills. Arthur came down and just as the Justs really fell in love with the property here. So they had a great relationship with Arthur and really worked well with him to design the golf course and really use what nature provided out here. Lauren and Elmore were really big into the trees and saving some of the really cool, unique trees out here. So that was something that as they went around with Arthur Hills, they tried to do. And obviously with their background with Louisville Golf and Persimmon Golf Clubs, the roots of the game and the basics of golf they just really were founded in, kind of set the tone here to establish Persimmon Ridge Golf Club. All right, hole number one here at Persimmon Ridge is a pretty straightforward par 4. Good starting hole. Just get your tee shot in the fairway, and then as you'll come to find out quickly, Persimmon Ridge is really an approach shot golf course. So the first green has some good undulation, and depending on the hole location, if the hole's in the front, you want to miss short. If the hole's in the back, you're better off missing long, and there's a lot of that around Persimmon Ridge. Number one gets it started. All right, hole number 2 is a dogleg left par 4. Really emphasis on ball striking on hole 2. The tee shot, pretty straightforward, but a miss left really gets you trapped out by the trees. And then the approach shot into the green, it's a 3-section green with a couple of tiers in it. And so depending on the hole location, distance control into the green is really critical. Hole number 3, Arthur Hills signature, split fairway par 5, with the right fairway really being the more direct route and ultimately the shorter route. But it leaves an approach shot, whether it's your second or third shot, coming directly over a large ravine that fronts the green. It's a very shallow green, so precision, again, is key on that approach shot. Hole number 4, the first par 3, probably the most challenging. Pretty decent length, but very undulated green with a nice shelf in it. And so, again, distance control and position coming into that green is really critical. And distance control on the putting up and down the slope is also very important on hole number 4. Hole number 5 is a little bit of a downhill dog-legging par 4. Depending on the hole location, can be a good birdie opportunity. If the course is running firm, then can usually get it down there and hit a nice little wedge into a green with a lake on the left, but a really good approach shot there usually leaves a good birdie chance. Hole number 6 is a par 4 coming back uphill a little bit, and really challenging tee shot with woods on the right and some really tough bunkers on the left. So getting off the tee there in good position is really critical. From there, it's usually a short iron to a relatively flat green, and a good birdie chance if you're in the fairway. Hole number 7, pretty straightaway par 4, relatively short. Again, a good tee shot is critical there to be in the fairway, and if you are, you're usually left with a short wedge to a green that's down in a little depression, and usually a good chance for birdie. Hole number 8 is a slightly downhill and dog-legging right, par 4, with well bunkered on the right, trees left, and a hazard down by the green. A nicely sectioned green. A good tee shot usually leaves you a short iron or a wedge in, but you got to be really precise on that approach shot to have a good birdie putt. Hole number 9 is the site of one of the most daunting tee shots in the area. A very steeply uphill long par 4 coming through a chute of trees with woods left, OB right. Very intimidating tee shot. If you're fortunate enough to knock one down the middle, you'll have a short iron into the green, which is a bit elevated and has some overall slope to it, but generally speaking, one of the flatter greens on the course. But you want to stay on the right side of the hole there as well. Hole number 10, one of the shorter par 4s on the course. The approach shot plays extremely uphill to a well undulated green, and a very precise wedge shot into that green is very important. Hole number 11, relatively generous tee shot, and then downhill approach from the fairway to the green. Usually got to have a little distance control on that downhill shot. Relatively flat green with a couple shelves, but tendency to go long there, and it ends up in a really tough spot over the green. So distance control is key. Hole number 12, a really pretty par 3 downhill with a lake on the left edge of the green, nicely undulated green there. So again, a really good precise approach shot is key to have a nice birdie putt, but bogey's certainly lurking all around on hole 12. Hole number 13, one of the other signature holes at Persimmon Ridge. You see it on the drive in, the lake along the left, the entire left side of the fairway, to a nice tight necked area at the end of the fairway. The further you go, the tighter it gets. And then the approach shot, the green is well bunkered and obviously also has the lake right along the left side. So number 13 is just one of those spots you got to hit a couple really good shots. After playing number 13, you need a little break. Number 14 is probably the easiest par 3 on the course. It's downhill to a relatively receptive green. So good chance for making birdies if you can hit a good shot. Hole number 15 is a nice dogleg left downhill par 5. A really good tee shot there, can really set you up to go for the green in 2. But there is a nice creek right in front of the green, so you got to make sure you're in good position to do that. Otherwise, nice generous layup zone and a really good green for a par 5 with a few different zones. You got to hit a good precise shot in there to have a birdie. Hole number 16 is a shorter par 4, but the green really wraps up around the lake. It's a very challenging green with a nice slope in the middle of it, so depending on the hole location, you really got to be positioned on the proper side of the slope to not only have a good birdie putt, but to have an easier 2-putt for par. Hole number 17 is a longer downhill dogleg par 4. Really good challenging off the tee, and then the approach shot usually downhill to a well undulated green. Just a good tough par 4. Hole number 18 is a really great finishing hole. Nice risk reward par 5, long par 5. But some of the longer hitters can definitely go for it in 2, but there's a nice lake that wraps around the fairway, starting a couple hundred yards out all the way up to the green. So the approach shot's a nice narrow landing with water right, bunkers left, can make for an interesting finish with scores anywhere from eagle to bogey.